Hi, let's look at this particular workflow. This is an activity that we did not do in the class, but let me check whether you can extend it to the classification yet that you just studied using a very numerical kind of example. It was a bank finance related data. Now let's see whether you can transfer that learning into classifying textual data, right? I said textual data, once it is converted to bag of words and then it is converted to a document to the numerical vector, then it is all the operations are quite similar to what we have seen in the previous model, right? So let me present to you this activity 3. It is there in the same folder, data session 5 folder. So let us reset the entire activity. I think there is a you need to select the particular file. Let, let's look at what is the file over there. There is, I think we are still referring to the, okay, one second, it's taking time. Yeah. Data session 1, there is a review, there is, let's see what it is. So it is a restaurant review which we have been seeing quite in the other examples as well. So restaurant reviews, you have about 597 reviews. It is, I think, a sample version of it. And there is a review title and review text, number of stars, and that's just whether it is likes, then the restaurant name, then a categorization is already given. Okay, Italian versus some you will see, I believe you will see Chinese, right? So this is the file. So what do we do here is we do all the typical things like missing value you can remove. So basically you have to test, you can specify which column to test, review title, and exclude rows by attribute value and select only missing value match. So what it does is if there is any missing value, that will kind of remove it. So then followed by the typical examples, this is straightforward string to document, right? So once it is converted to a document, we will extract only that document file for further processing. So you removed exclude all other variables and just include this one document which you just created. So that's exactly what we have been doing in the early examples. So then it is the typical stages which you have seen: enrichment using a BO stagger. It's going to take some time because it's, yeah, not much, 500 600 odd data is there. So then comes the next set of processing. Pre-processing we have been seeing: remove the numbers, remove the punctuation, stop words, filter, case converter, then stemmer. All the typical stages which we have been discussing is done. Now there is a tag filter. Let's see what tag is getting filtered. So it is a POS tag. We have basically POS tagging we have done. So what are they doing? They are just taking out, they are extracting only the adjectives, nouns, and verbs. All the other things are being filtered out. So we just press the play button and it is done. Now the next stage is transformation. Transformation, it's bag of words creator is there. I think we know how it is used. Basically, you have this document and the pre-processed document. I think they have been doing this. They have created a new column called as pre-processed document. Those things are there. And using the pre-processed document column, you are creating a bag of word, right? You have applied all these filters and done all the pre-processing. Then you are kind of creating the bag of word. So bag of word, I think you remember we have created um, bag of words from here. So document, um, pre-processed document and what are the terms which are extracted with the tags, right? So this is what has happened here in the bag of words creator. Then it is simply counting the term frequency, which is quite straightforward. We have seen this. Now is the time for a conversion of bag of words into the document vector, right? So we will press this. So what has happened here is you have you will just take pre-processed document and you are seeing whether that particular you have, even though you have taken this term frequency, you are, I think you have not taken it there, you are just taking the bit vector whether the word is present or not, present or absence of a particular word is actually taken care here. Okay, now there is an extra node. You would expect like now the output I'll show you. So you have 2257 columns and 594 rows. Some missing values have been eliminated. So about 597 was the initial number. Now this is 594. Right now the columns means it's you can see it's a vector, right? Every number indicates, like 1 indicates the presence of that particular term, 0 indicates absence. So in the review, in the document review, right? Now what we do here is we are trying to, like at the next stage we are trying for a classification, right? So what do we do here is this you have 2257 columns. Okay, now we are using this particular node which is new to you, document data extractor. So what does it do? We have been given command extract category for prediction, the class label. So what does it do? It's basically now the whole data which is flowing through is a um, there is a document type data which is flowing through, right? So what we need is there is, I think if you remember, here we have seen there is a categorization which is already given for, see, category Italian versus Chinese, it is already given. So here it was string and it was later converted into a document in the next stage. I think here it is converted in document. Now we need this class label for classification, right? So we have been checking the, how do you say, textual data, and then kind of we will now try to learn the classification, right? So we need that extra column. So that's what we did here. It's a new node where you can specify which uh, detail to extract. So category from the document. So we need the category which is Italian or Chinese from the document file type. Extract that, and what does it do? It kind of appends. Okay, it kind of appends the detail as a new column. So we have 2258 columns now. So one column is added. So right, let's look at here. It was 2257. Here it has become 2258. Right. And the next stage is that we will remove the document column because we are going to because we don't need any textual data there, right? We need all these 2000 odd columns which are represented by the term vectors, and including the last target variable, which is the category Italian or Chinese. That's what we're going to predict, right? Whether this review text is from an Italian restaurant or a Chinese restaurant, because it's coming from a group of restaurants, some Italian restaurants and some Chinese restaurants. So we remove that textual information which is document from here. That's what you're doing here. It's pretty straightforward. It's now you have converted a number, but you needed that target variable, right? I'll just show you once again. So this is the data that you're dealing with. Some reviews of some restaurants, some are Italian, some are Chinese, and you are basically analyzing review text to predict the the restaurant type. Now once you've done this, It's quite easy. It is, you've separated, you've converted into number, you have removed the document part of it through this column filter, and you have, through this document data extractor, you have added another column where the classes, mainly Italian and Chinese, are added. So now that is your target class, and you have the document text which could be classified accordingly. So basically, document text is the input variable, and the target variable, Italian versus Chinese, which you have extracted and put it in a column, is the target variable. So now you do the same procedure, very simple, like the earlier one. You're splitting it into, um, so here the ratio is slightly different, but it could be 70/30 or 80/20. Now they are taking a stratified sampling, so instead, I think last time we took draw randomly. Now here we have the option to take stratified sampling using the category, so that will ensure that both categories, uh, Italian and Chinese, will receive almost equal weightage, which is in a good way good for training, right? So you could try the other way also, whether to take it, draw randomly, that will, and see the difference of how it affects the final accuracy measures. So now it is all simple. We run this, we partition, so 80 goes upstream and 20 goes for testing. So again, you have the model connecting here. You will run the model. It is the same arrangement, there is no much difference, right? The class column is the target variable that you are trying to predict. So it could be Gini or the other way, gain ratio. So then you kind of apply and run it once again. And yeah, I was saying here in the decision tree predictor, you have to check the second box, so that there is a probability, a data which is, there is a new column which is generated, which is used for the ROC curve generation. So we'll just how finally the results appear. How are the results? So if we look at the misclassification rate is less, it is almost 89% accuracy levels are there. And if you look at this diagram, you can see that the AUC, area under the curve, is almost 0.878, which is again good. So that is all about text to text classification. So text classification is, uh, this part is, after this partition node, it is all the same. But what happens before here, at least here, is when you are converting the text into number, then afterwards it's all the same. I think one additional node that you have understood is document data extractor, which extracts the required